So, what if you could actually engineer what people believe about a brand? I'm not talking about just designing a cool logo or a catchy tagline, no. We're talking about architecting perception itself, using this really potent mix of strategy and artificial intelligence. That's the huge claim from a company we're going to break down today. Let's dive in and see how they say they can pull it off. Okay, this right here, this is the core idea that drives everything they do. And it completely flips the script on what we think a brand is. Most of us, we think brand equals logo, name, colors. But they argue it's way deeper than that. It's a perception system. It's this whole complex web of thoughts and feelings living inside the consumer's mind that they claim you can actually build on purpose. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, if a brand is this system that exists in people's heads, how on earth do you become its architect? This is the exact problem Aurra Lumina is trying to solve. They're trying to shift branding from, say, a beautiful art form into something much more like an engineering discipline.
Which brings us right to their main philosophy, engineering perception. And look, this isn't just a fancy way of saying making things look pretty. It's about systematically constructing all the deep underlying stuff that influences how people think, what they decide to buy, and whether they genuinely feel a connection to a brand.
So they really frame this as a major shift. On one hand, you have the old way of doing things. It was, let's be honest, full of guesswork, chasing empty vanity metrics like likes and shares, and just starting with what looks good. But the new way, it's all about building a solid strategic architecture first, using the pinpoint precision of AI, and focusing on one thing above all, building real authority. And this isn't some chaotic random process. It's a very clear four-stage journey. It all kicks off with discovery, a super deep dive into the brand's entire world. Then you move to the architect phase, where the brand's actual DNA gets built. And notice this, design only shows up at step 3, after that strategic foundation is rock solid. Only then is it time to launch and scale with a clear plan for growth. Okay, so that's the process, but what about the tools? To actually pull this strategy off, they've built out something they call the Intelligent Toolkit. And it's a whole suite of services, all powered by AI. First up, their AI Creative Director. Now, you got to think of this less like a piece of software and more like an AI partner. It's designed to brainstorm concepts, polish up creative ideas, and even optimize them based on what's happening in the market right now. It's basically a strategic collaborator for the whole creative team. Now, this is where things get really, really interesting. Their intelligent campaign generation service actually claims to use AI to predict how well a campaign will connect with culture before it's even made. That is a huge shift, right? It's moving away from just making something and crossing your fingers to actually engineering something for a predictable impact.
Next is the Aurra Model Suite. So instead of dealing with traditional, expensive photo shoots or sifting through boring stock photos, they create AI-generated models. These are complete digital personas, custom-built to perfectly match a brand's vibe, making sure every single visual is consistent.
And finally, we have their future-ready brand analytics. This isn't just about looking at spreadsheets of what happened last year. Nope. This uses what they call behavioral prediction engines to forecast what customers are going to want next. It's basically trying to get ahead of demand before it even materializes. And here's a look at how they package all these services. You can see it's this tiered approach. You can start with the foundation, which is all about pure strategy. Then you can step up to the authority system, which adds in the visual identity and the AI campaigns. And finally, the icon engine is the whole shebang, the all-in-one package with a website and a long-term growth plan. Okay, so all that theory is great, but how does this stuff actually work in the real world? Let's dig into a specific case study they shared, the AI campaign system build. This is where it all comes to life. They lay out the whole story in 3 simple stages. First, the big challenge the client was dealing with, then the specific approach they took to fix it, and finally, the awesome outcome. Let's break each one down. So, what was the problem? Okay, picture a brand that's growing like crazy, but their marketing is, well, it's a mess. Their campaign visuals were costing them a fortune, they looked different every single time, and there was no consistent story tying it all together. That kind of inconsistency can really hold a business back. So what was their fix? They came in and built a whole new foundation using that AI-powered campaign architecture we talked about. This basically meant creating a system that could pump out high-quality, cinematic visuals again and again, and at scale. It directly solved those big problems of high cost and wild inconsistency.
And the results? They were pretty amazing. The brand became way more memorable and their whole online presence just looked so much more professional.
But here's the key. Their campaign process also got way more efficient. And for the very first time, they were telling one clear, cohesive story everywhere. They had successfully engineered a totally new perception.
So at the end of the day, what does all this lead to? It leads to what they call engineered authority. It's this idea that a brand's top spot in the market isn't just luck. It's the direct result of a smart, strategic system that's been designed from the ground up to win.
And look, they're not just talking about abstract ideas. They've got the hard numbers to prove it. One client, Urban Ethnic, reported a massive 40% jump in their conversion rates after putting these systems in place. I mean, in business, that's an absolute game changer.
And this quote from another client just nails the two key benefits. First, the incredible quality, AI visuals that are indistinguishable from real photography. And second, the insane speed. They saved months of production time. It's that powerful one-two punch of amazing quality and incredible efficiency that really defines their value.
So we'll end with the very same question they pose. It's a pretty powerful thought to chew on. In a world that is just screaming with noise, just having a brand is not enough anymore. The real question is, has your brand been intentionally engineered to cut through all that noise, to command attention, and to truly be heard?